New information now about an Ohio case getting national attention. The Indiana doctor who performed an abortion for a 10-year-old rape victim from Ohio is speaking out about her state's attorney general threatened an investigation. Todd Rokita told Fox News he wants to know if the doctor failed to report that rape to authorities and might seek to revoke her medical license. The doctor said on Twitter last night her heart breaks for sexual assault survivors, and she said our country is failing them. A Columbus man is now charged with the rape of that girl. Republican lawmakers who days ago questioned whether that story was made up are praising the arrest.
And now, will their initial skepticism cost them when it comes to the ballot box? News 5's John Kosick begins our in-depth coverage with a look at the potential fallout.
Abortion and the role of the Attorney General and court cases surrounding it will be a key factor in the race for Ohio Attorney General, featuring Republican incumbent Dave Yost versus Democratic challenger Jeff Crossman. On Fox News Monday, Yost questioned the validity of the case of a 10-year-old rape victim having to go to Indiana for an abortion because of Ohio's abortion laws. Yost, who runs the state's crime lab, said he could find no case matching that description.
We have regular contact with prosecutors and local police and sheriffs. Not a whisper anywhere. There is no case request for analysis that looks anything like this.
News of the arrest of a suspect in the case brought cries from his opponent, Jeff Crossman, for an apology.
I'm just stunned and dismayed that an Ohio Attorney General would misstate the law, misstate the facts, and simply refuse to acknowledge the mistake and apologize to the people of Ohio.
News 5 reached out to Yost Thursday to clarify questions around the law, but did not hear back. On Wednesday, News 5 investigator Scott Knoll asked him about an apology.
Apologize for what? Questioning a newspaper story? Remember, on Monday night, we didn't know that the girl even existed.
Yost wasn't alone. Governor Mike DeWine and Congressman Jim Jordan also being called out for their comments. News 5 political analyst Dr. Tom Sutton says it is a stance that won't likely hurt them with their own supporters in November, but you'll see used in ads to motivate their opponents.
That is the kind of story that people don't forget. Regardless of the details and the circumstances, it does have political fallout potential, but it's about possibly raising the turnout of your opponent's supporters rather than hurting the supporters that you already have.
Turnout, he says, being the operative word. In a midterm in Ohio, it runs only about 40 to 45%.
That leaves a lot of room for that turnout to increase. And it's issues like this that typically see an uptick in voters.
Issues like this, and he says issues like the economy, which will both drive voters to the polls for differing reasons. John Kosick, News 5.
Now, as John said, Yost is not the only Republican who publicly cast doubt on the reports about that 10-year-old.
Today, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan was asked about a comment he made on social media regarding this case. In a now deleted tweet captured by our partners at the Ohio Capitol Journal, Jordan shared an article about Yost's Fox News interview with the message, quote, "Another lie. Anyone surprised?" Now, that tweet was deleted from his account yesterday after news broke of an arrest in the case. And here's what Jordan had to say when asked about his comments today.
You tweeted that it was a lie that this 10-year-old had to go
across. I was commenting on a news story. Yeah, the real issue is this is a heinous crime by an illegal immigrant, and I hope he is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Do you regret saying it's a lie, though?
All right, now we shift to the way Attorney General Yost wrapped up that Fox News interview. It's something a lot of our viewers asked us to look into, so we did some digging today.
At the very end, he said he wanted to set the record straight on something he claimed all the national outlets were getting wrong.
Ohio's heartbeat law has a medical emergency exception, broader than just the life of the mother. This young girl, if she exists and if this horrible thing actually happened to her, breaks my heart to think about it, she did not have to leave Ohio to find treatment.
Okay, so we took a look at the actual text of Ohio's abortion law. There is an exception to the fetal heartbeat ban for medical emergencies.
So the law refers you to Ohio's revised code for the definition of medical emergency. Now, that code considers it a condition that, in a doctor's good faith judgment, would complicate a pregnancy to the point that the woman's life is at risk. And it also says, quote, serious risk of the substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function of the pregnant woman merits an exception. So We dug even further to find out how this medical emergency exception may apply to this specific case, leading to the Attorney General to make that claim publicly.
We spoke with Sharona Hoffman, a professor of bioethics and law at Case. She says it's not clear how the law would even apply to this case.
The language here is medical emergency, which would suggest that the person does not have time to go to another state.
That law is also raising concern about how doctors will be able to treat their patients. Since a lot of this medical emergency exception is left to a doctor's discretion, there are some gray areas here. Doctors could face a 5th-degree felony charge if somebody questions their decision down the line, which puts them in a tough spot.
They have to engage in a calculus. They have to balance the patient's best interest against their own best interest and think about whether doing a procedure will result in a risk of prosecution for themselves. And that is very dangerous.
To be clear, the professor was not able to speak to this case specifically since we know so few details about that 10-year-old girl or the circumstances surrounding her medical condition.
Okay, so we also reached out to the Attorney General's office, Attorney General Yost, for clarification. We got a statement including the same legal definitions that we had already found, the ones we just shared with you.
And since he questioned whether her case existed at all just a few days ago, it still isn't clear how he would have details to determine whether this would have qualified as a medical emergency under Ohio law. We have much more on the fallout from the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade online. You can see our stories on the News 5 app or our website, news5cleveland.com.